banner thing, so this is cool.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
get to it. Yeah,
Mm.
you know, it's growth all time.
What up, bro? How you been? How you
Good man.
feeling? You
Good,
know,
good, 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 man. Hold
I
on for
know
a
you was
second.
gonna be in the gym for a little quick period of time this morning.
Oh yeah, I'll get to that. Hold up.
That was my patented. That was my patented shot. One thing I could do was finger roll.
Yo, what it do? What it do? Coach Maine.
Sam Little here for another episode of Grow Paul.
Yes, yes, yes,
You know
yes.
where Roxbury meets Dorchester.
You already know, man. You already
Yeah,
know.
man.
So,
You know,
yeah, no. Back to what you were saying earlier, man. It's you
you
know,
know, bro. You're in a tough predicament where you're at right now because you lost one of your best players for a little while. Um, and right now it's about right now you got to find a new identity or in a new probably a new way of playing with the guys that you have and whatnot. Um, I like the fact that you're giving Zach free reign to kind of do his thing. He just has to horn it in a little bit, but I see you out there trying, working different combinations, trying to see how y'all can become competitive again and whatnot until y'all start coming back. But and I'm also happy that a lot of guys are not giving up on you because they're definitely out there playing and they're showing up right now. Good to see
yeah,
Tony out there.
yeah, we're definitely. I mean, this is the third year. We've had 2 years of really. I mean, the first season was really good, caught people off guard. I think the biggest thing is that over the last 2 years in particular, the league has dramatically changed, right? In terms of the influx of new talent that's all over the league on every team pretty much
Yeah.
has like a couple of those guys. So, it's been a tough adjustment. What I will say is that I'm leaving everything on the floor from a coaching standpoint, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm like coaching my ass off on the sidelines like every week. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And today, man, today was one that really bummed me out because I mean I felt like the game we had that game, but it just we didn't close out. The players got like, oh, we got it before we actually finished and closed it out. I
Yeah.
think that was just the biggest thing from it is like, yo, like we had this. It was just mental, errors.
Yeah.
And like and so Zach,
Y'all had the chance to win it at the end at one point.
like we had it, yeah, we had
Yeah.
it shouldn't even got to that position.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even got to that. You know what I mean? Up 6, under a minute. West comes down, hits a 3-pointer, gets an and 1. We
Mm-hmm.
come down the next play. Dre hits 1 of 2 free throws to make it a 3-point game, and
Yeah.
then West gets open again. And so it's like we're losing the
Focus.
guys that you
Yeah.
shouldn't supposed to lose in those moments, which is
Mhm.
West, the shooter, which what West does.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was tough, man. You know what I mean? And I had a player like that got so upset he walked out, and
No, I didn't peep that. I didn't
yeah,
peep
it's
that.
it's
But
just so it's just it's all bad right now. You know what I mean? But the type of person I am, the competitor. I mean, I think like again, to Zach's credit, yeah, he didn't. But what I will say is that he's open to coaching. He's open to he's listening each week because I'm constantly talking to him when he's on the floor, talking to him. I reach out to him like after the games, and I'm actually gonna give him a call. I
yeah.
mean, if we don't get too late at some point tonight, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I mean, he played good. I know with a player like that, it's gonna be some gift and
Mm-hmm.
a curse type of thing with it. And so, it's a challenge for me as a coach because I gotta coach this guy up, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, better. You know what I mean? So that's the thing with it. But today was a tough one. Today was a really, really, it was a tough loss. I mean, we're in a 6-game losing streak. This is the longest losing streak that I've never been on.
This is the longest losing streak you ever had.
This is the longest losing streak I've ever been on. As far as I can ever remember in my coaching life, I don't ever remember being on a losing streak this long. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like league play. You know, it's uncharted territory. But you know, I'm still not giving up on my guys, man. You know what I mean? I feel like we're gonna be able to turn it around. At some point.
Y'all did that last year. Y'all got caught a snag at one point. It wasn't this bad, but y'all caught a little snag, and then it was a must-win situation coming down the stretch of the season where if y'all didn't get those wins in, y'all might have made the playoffs.
Yeah,
and y'all, you know, I think maybe the team as a whole came together and realized, yo, we may be out of this motherfucker. And you know, y'all put those strings of wins together and shit. Y'all playing? Actually, y'all weren't even playing. Y'all beat got out of the play-in.
We were the third seed.
Yeah, got into third seed because y'all were actually out of the playoffs at one point.
Yep.
And then got all the way back to the third. So, you know, gotta applaud that, gotta applaud the effort and you know, talk, you know, speaking to the team later on, I would bring that up like, yo, this shit ain't over. You seen what we did last year, and basically it's the same core guys. Yo, listen, everybody got to step up now. Strap up and let's go.
No, definitely. And we can and we will. It's just like I said, it's been tough because again, the underrated player that we haven't had that people like is my guard Thomas with the dreads. Thomas hasn't played a game for us yet.
Yeah, he hasn't.
Brandon's been gone for the last 6 weeks. Joe's been in and out of the lineup, and Thomas hasn't been there at all.
Yeah, and Thomas is a big part of the defensive end on y'all, and he was a clog in your starting rotation. So
he was a star. So it's tough all around. It's tough all around right now. But you know, we'll get back to it. You know what I mean? We'll definitely
certainly. I don't know how that first game ended. I can't remember who won between the Bucks and Wolves. I actually came in and checked that 10.
Yeah,
it was the Wolves. Okay, so you know, great job. You know, on that part. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, it would be someone try to call me at this point in time.
Same here. Yeah, same here.
Yeah. The second game of the day, Lakers Bulls, Lakers, we kind of pulled that one out. Third game of the day, you had the Sixers beating, the Heat, very tough game. It is what it is. We had the Magic, as you said, over you guys this afternoon. We had the Jazz taking one over the Kings.
Watch that. Really good game. Really good game.
Definitely. Really we had the Thunder beating the Rockets. If I'm not, and that
did they beat the Rockets?
I think they did. If I'm not mistaken, I think they did win today. I think they did get the Rockets. And that would be the first loss for the Rockets if that's the case. And then the Hawks ended up finishing out the day beating the Celtics. But you know what time it is, so we're getting up on it.
Oh man, you already know what time it is, baby. It's that time. So without further ado, man, any given Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
On Dead Dogs, the Grove Hall Show got it locked. The best sports show in New England, it's your first stop. See Coach Maine handle topics like he got the rock. Point guard, drop it off, help you find your spot. Payne got the streets on smash. Dropping jewels every time like J-Kid off the glass. And let's keep it real, everybody game for real. That's why we got Mr. Maritime here to seal the deal. Tune in.
Yo. What's good? We back.
Another week.
Grove
Hall podcast.
Mhm.
You know, for all y'all just tuning in, I'm Sam Little.
I'm Coach Maine, man. This is where Roxbury meets.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got a good show for you tonight. You
Any
know,
given Sunday.
yeah, any given Sunday, man. For the last couple of weeks, we've been on the basketball tip, but our focus is not just going to be on basketball. We're gonna try to get to every sport.
Yeah.
And today, we're on the gridiron. We're out here, and we got a couple of good guests, possibly stopping through. So let's make it happen, man. All right.
Any given Sunday, man. I love that movie. One of my all-time favorites.
Is that your favorite football movie of all time?
Man, probably so. Yeah, I can't think of any others that really jump. I mean, Friday Night Lights was good. Oh,
Friday Night Lights. Remember
I'm
the
sorry.
Titans is one, probably mine.
Nope. Remember the Titans.
Yes.
Remember the Titans.
Yeah, I think that's mine. Mine's also. I probably watched that maybe 10, 12 times. Who knows? Like that's one of those. One of the greater football movies to me.
Yeah. No, I definitely lost count with that. It's
Yeah.
definitely yeah. I love Remember the Titans. Love it. Absolutely love it. Any given Sunday up there too.
Yeah. Shout out Wood Harris.
You know. Yeah, is that your favorite football movie?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That definitely is. That definitely is. What was the one with LL and Jamie Foxx where they had the little beat? Oh, that was in it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really get to see that. All I heard, truthfully,
Really?
Y'all can revoke my black card, but I never got to watch that. Definitely. Shit.
That's great. That's crazy.
Might sit down sometime this weekend, this week, and watch it and whatnot. But I've never watched it. All I ever heard from that movie was about the fight. That's all I've ever heard. The fight scene between LL and Jamie, which was the real life fight.
Right. No, that was a real thing.
Yeah, LL brought his goons up there and everything. I said, "Oh man, it got that crazy." Jeez.
Oh man, but yeah, man, we're talking about football today, diving into the rich history, because I mean, like, again, with this, we're not just a basketball based podcast, but definitely, and there's been a lot of really good football players that have came out. A lot of really good football programs like Pop Warner, a lot of really good Pop Warner ones. And so yeah, what do let's just get right into it. I know we're supposed to have some people joining us, but what do you think about the state of Pop Warner football today? You know what I mean?
From what I've seen, I have some close ties. I have a lot of family on the Dorchester Eagles and stuff like that. My nephew's actually a quarterback, on the 9 under team.
Hey, is he?
Yeah.
Man's a quarterback. Oh shit.
Yeah. Man. Every now and then, when I do get to see him, I seen him last weekend at my son's baby shower, and I'm like, yo. Like what's up? And he's just like, man, like we could do better. We could do better. Just watch. We'd be all right next year. We didn't have extra games at the end of the season. I guess there might not have been enough 9 under teams for them or whatever it is, and so on. But he's like, next year I'll be with the 10. You'll see me. You'll see me out there. So I definitely will have to get out to some of these games for him and whatnot. But I think it's good. I think it's great. I thought it was going to be a little drop off because, everybody's talking about, the dangers of it. But, and a couple at one point, parents have kind of taken their kids out because of the, what is that, CTE and stuff like that. But, I didn't see too much of a drop off, and whatnot. And I got a bunch of friends, and they're always speaking about coaching and stuff like that. So I think it's in a good state right now.
No, definitely.
Many teams compared to when we were growing up.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more variety of teams for people to like choose from, and that's really good. You know what I'm saying? That's really good to give people more choices. There's so much talent across the city. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
in Pop Warner. Shout out to the Dorchester Eagles, which runs a amazing
Fantastic program.
You know,
Yeah.
they went to the Super Bowl and won last year. They had a dope parade. They have an amazing staff.
Yeah. Shout out Big Hurst. Shout out
Yeah.
Big Hurst, man.
Hurst, Beef, Steve, Brovell,
Brovell.
Coach Craig Carter, like
Yes.
Bum, like they. I mean, I know I'm forget. Pardon me if I'm forgetting.
Matter of fact, Nelson DePina is actually a coach over there also, with the young kids. You know, he got the starters. He got the little young ones out there right now. So, yeah.
I mean, they absolutely run one of the best, most amazing programs. Shout out to the Mattapan Patriots.
Yes.
My guy Mick the Mayor over there, Big Prez. They also run an amazing program, and they're in the AYF, I believe. And they are amazing. They do such a great job with that. I'm forgetting. Who else are we forgetting?
I mean, we got the Bengals out there, if I'm not mistaken.
Bengals.
I'm trying to remember. There's I think Jamal Fields is with the Bengals, if I'm not mistaken. I know Top Cat used to be, but I think he kind of moved on from them. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Jamal Fields, him and his son. Actually, his son actually plays for them, if I'm not mistaken. But they got a solid program also. Yeah, they got a solid program out there.
The Raiders. Also, that's another good program. So I know that we had Mike Dees on last week, and I believe he has an uncle or some relation of his family. The gentleman's name is Andre, but Coach Andre. He runs the Raiders, which has a really good program. High Park has a team. I mean, it's so many. You know, I mean, it's so many, man. You know, the one thing with our programs up here that kind of like, the light gets a little bit dimmed is the weather not being great all year round.
Yeah, because the boys in the South, they play all year round because they're able to do that. But I think up here we kind of are starting to realize, we got to give our kids that type of chance also. So I think now, there's a lot of flag, which is indoor and stuff, and they're doing a lot of that now. I'm starting to see a lot of indoor flag for the young kids and stuff like that. That way they can stay conditioned. They can, they can keep in mind, because kids, like, you can teach them something, and if you let them drop off for like 3 months with not teaching them, the routes and all this stuff, they forget it until it's time for the season to start over again. So now, at least, with the indoor flag football and stuff like that, now whatever those routes are, it's, it stays in their head a little bit longer, and they can memorize a little, and know what to do. They don't have such a wait before it's time for them to get back on the field and have to relearn all this stuff all over again. So,
yeah, I mean, flag football is dope. I'm glad we have more of that. We need more of it here in the city. We definitely need more flag football tournaments, and just, you know what I mean? And I know you and I had a brief conversation before about a TSMP flag football tournament, because again, everybody throws basketball tournaments, but it's very rare too many people that
During the football, yeah,
tournaments.
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So we definitely need to revisit that conversation because I think that would be a dope thing. You know, we got the field right over there by Dorchester, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, we got tons of fields here, man. I mean, that
yeah,
we just gotta utilize them.
right.
Utilize them. Yeah, I think some. I think as time goes on, we'll get back. I mean, because at one point we were doing this sit and talk, Thanksgiving games and stuff like that. So I think we'll get back into it. We'll probably start something else up.
Yeah. Shout out to my brother DC and the Sit and Talk gang, the Sit and Talk brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coach Payne got a Sit and Talk flag football championship under his belt. So you dig? We have, you know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. I think that's one of the things that has been evading me. I haven't gotten one of those. I haven't got one of them chips yet. But maybe if we can get it back in the swing, maybe it'll come around for me.
That's definitely something that I don't know about on Thanksgiving anymore for me. I don't know because I'll be frying turkeys and stuff.
Yeah,
that's a big cut out of my day as far as the money making stuff. But if it was real, I'd still want to be a part of it in some way, shape, form, or fashion because getting up Thanksgiving morning, going to the field, playing football, like those were dope times. You know what I mean? Like we had a lot of fun out there on those games. What was it, like 3 years we did it? Maybe like 3 years.
Shit, we might have been longer than that. When was the last, right before COVID, to tell you the truth. Maybe before COVID, because I don't remember anything after COVID.
Yeah. It was definitely before. I don't remember exactly when, but it was definitely before. And it was it was a dope time. We had a really, really good time. Good time.
Cold, but definitely a good time.
No, listen, it's just what you said. Our brother,
and I'll never forget our prayer.
Well,
prayer was like the highlight.
Listen, two things about that. I'll never forget our prayer with guys dropping F-bombs in the prayer. And I'll never forget seeing Kamani go from one person to the absolute time when I want to say it was Shiz Davis. Somebody got him going, and I never saw Kamani like that ever in life. I never saw Kamani like that before. Like I was like, oh, okay, like
he went back to Kamani of old. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, definitely went back to Kamani of old, man.
Word up.
Knock the shit over, man. Definitely.
But hey, listen, in Dorchester, you were a football guy. You ran with the football. You ran with the football gods, and I mean. So what was that experience like with you playing, football for Dorchester High? What would you say was your best skill set, as your attribute as far as football?
I think with me, it was more my knowledge of the game. Like since I was a kid, my pops had me in front of the TV. We're watching Cowboy games. Tony Dorsett was the guy. Walter Payton was the guy for the Bears. We would sit down on Sunday mornings, and he was my introduction to the game. And he would just point out what the positions were at first. That's what it was, and what they did. Okay, the running back, he's the guy with the ball. He, most times he's the one carrying it. Receiver, tight end, and I actually played the game before him, because of him, because my thing was I always wanted to be around my pops, and I wanted to impress him.
Right.
And so I knew football was something that he liked. So I'm going to do that.
Right.
So, unfortunately, he didn't get to see any of my games and stuff of that nature. But, I began to like and just Now it was just for myself. Think I should have been a lot better than what I was. I might have thought I was a lot better than what I was, but definitely had some great teammates. Hell of a time. I got to see a lot of great athletes. Meet a lot of guys. As a freshman, Bunny Jefferson was there, and we're playing against Bunny Jefferson. We're playing against Jermaine Wiggins, over against West Roxbury my freshman year.
Boston. Yeah, East Boston.
Yeah. Bunny Jefferson was over at the Burke. There was a lot of big names out there. John Sapp, when I was, who went to the Timothy with me. We ran track together. He's over on the West East Side as their running back. A lot of great names, just
shout out to my guy Ian Pitts. Shout out to Ian Pitts. I was trying to get him to pull up.
He was Latin Academy, I think.
Huh?
Yeah. Latin Academy, if I'm not mistaken. I think him and Marlon Benjamin both were at Latin Academy. And truthfully, I think Marlon, actually we played, I was there, I was in Dorchester High when I played against Marlon. And that was probably a memorable game because we actually won that game. And accidentally, I broke somebody's leg. But no, yeah, it was accidentally, but I think I broke somebody's leg. That
how do you accidentally break someone?
Because it's football. Like,
what are you talking about, bro?
The hit was supposed to be it was supposed to be a hit, but it wasn't supposed to be something where somebody was going to go off in a stretcher. But I remember the game like it was yesterday. White Stadium. We played them, and it just happened that way. We went up. We also went up against a nice I think it was an English high team. With what's my man? Who's his pops is a basketball coach for the girls all the time.
Rice.
Rice. Bull Rice. Bull Rice's son played quarterback. That was another memorable game because that was the team. I thought Dorchester High was stacked that year. They beat us by 6. It was like a 7-13 game. But I thought that was our year. We had a great team. Reggie Mills was our running back. And that was a senior-led team. Most of our guys were seniors that year. So, later on in the show, maybe we'll revisit this because I think one of our guests will tell us why we lost that game.
Oh yeah, come on, Nell, where you at, bro? Where you at? We need you to definitely pull up and get some stories going about those Dorchester High. So who's your guys' coach?
Our coach, Mr. Mason. What's Mason's first name? George?
Was it Joe? It was Smoking Joe Mason.
Yes.
Smoking
love that guy. And a crazy thing about Mason is he would never tell you, what he was doing, but he definitely had, there's certain coaches that, they hate on you. They don't, like during recruitment sessions, they probably won't let you know certain people are looking at you or they won't advertise you to certain people. Mason was a little bit different. Mason, he was quiet in demeanor. Well, no, actually, I'm lying. He was never quiet in demeanor. But Mason was quiet on that tip. But he actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was 3 of us that he wanted us to go to New Hampshire. And he talked to the coach at New Hampshire. I never made the trip. Like I said, my head was a little big. And I thought I was better than where I was, and I never made, the trip out to New Hampshire. But come to find out that next year, New Hampshire ended up winning the Super Bowl and whatnot. And I remember that to this day. One of the Bears cornerbacks was coming in on that recruiting class. I can't remember his name right off the top right now. It'll probably come to me later. But they had a couple of pros on that team, and I used to sit back and I used to be like, damn, if I did get there, I probably could have learned a lot from this kid, because we were both coming in as freshmen that year. I just can't remember the name, but he was a Bears cornerback. It'll come to me though. it'll definitely come to me. But that's probably my only regret, that I didn't take the game serious and I just was big headed
Mm.
and whatnot. And truthfully, when you look at my stats, it was like, what are you so big headed about? You wasn't even on the offensive end.
Right, you were more of a defensive guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think I started out at O'Brien at linebacker because I was a little bit heavier
Yep.
and whatnot. And then when I got to Dorchester, I played linebacker or defensive end. I don't know why I was a defensive end. I always felt I was too small to be a defensive end. But it's interesting how we don't have a lot of big guys here in the city that actually really care to play football. So we were actually tweeners playing, playing out there.
Yeah.
So,
But I
we
mean,
weren't like Wesley, 3 football teams, and whatnot.
Wesley was a football school. Wesley was a football school. They were just known for
Yeah.
like really good football players. Like this is just one of those schools.
Mm.
Wesley, English, BC, the Burke.
Burke was definitely when I first came in.
We're really known as like football schools, like schools that just had like talent. Oh, I'm sorry, Charlestown too. Let me give Charlestown their props. Charlestown definitely. In Madison, I'm sleeping.
Madison was tough. Yeah, Madison had some. Yeah,
Madison too.
When I first got there, yeah, because we used to, when I was at O'Brien, we used to have to scrimmage against them every now and then and stuff of that nature. They definitely had a lot of good players on their squad. Definitely.
Who is the best? Who is the best football player that you've ever saw before?
The best football player that I got to see up close and personal will probably be Bunny Jefferson. In all honesty, it might have been Bunny Jefferson. He could do everything on the field. He even had a fear factor with him. Bunny was big. He was a grown man out there, and I've watched him hit some people, and I was just like, yo, listen, I don't know if this is cut out. I'm cut out for this. That might have been one of the reasons why I never want to be on the offensive end, because I just didn't want to get hit, because then, later on we'd be fighting, because I didn't want to get embarrassed out there. Definitely didn't want to get embarrassed. I think that was my big thing. I didn't want to get hit, get embarrassed, because, I know some of the shit I was saying out there when I hurt people and stuff like that, and my temperament wasn't there at that time. To stay cool and just continue to play, get them back on the missile.
Yeah, Bunny was definitely, we'll just form it into a top 5 since we just both agree on Bunny. So we'll get a chance to go back and just name 4 more people since we agree on Bunny. Is like the consensus of like he's definitely one of the best players that I've ever saw, because he played both sides of the ball. He was like a guy like Bunny Jefferson. Like he's one of those guys where I wish that in his time of playing football, there was like, there was YouTube and there was social media and stuff, because some of the things he used to do, you literally didn't believe unless you watched it on the field happen. Like, I mean, the jumping over people, the acrobatic pitches, like, I mean, this guy was, again, he was a box office attraction in high school in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like in the 90s, he was a box office attraction. He was like must-see TV in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see him after high school, but I just know when he was playing for the Burke in his time, like he was box office. He was must-see TV.
I'm not sure if he went on to college, but I do know he did play semi-pro. That I do know. I can't recall what team. I'm not sure if he was a Bandit at one point in time, but I do know he did play semi-pro for a while. Matter of fact, he might have played. You know what? What was the other league? that was in Canada. He played up there.
The CFL?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he played up there.
Who else? Who would you go with? So let's round out the top 4 of best high school players. Your top 5 high school players that you've heard about, or whatever the case may be.
Someone I admired and liked. It was also a close friend of mine's. Conroy McRae, if I'm not mistaken, is his last name.
I've heard of this name before. I've heard of this name before.
Lightning fast.
I've heard that name.
Lightning fast athlete. I think he had a scholarship in football and track. He was a family friend basically, and we kind of came up. I mean, we were around each other. We weren't like friends, but we were always in the same parties and stuff of that nature because I knew his family, and we would all be there. John Sapp, running back for West Roxbury. Another guy, he was called Rabbit. Like quickest guy. I probably the fastest guy I ever known. John Sapp.
Where did he go to high school? At?
He went to West Roxbury. He was one of West Roxbury's running backs. You got Jermaine Wiggins.
His nickname was Rabbit.
Yeah, that's
familiar. I'm like,
Rabbit was a big name back in the day. He was there with Dick Johnson. He was there with Dana and them. We called him Rabbit. That was his nickname, but his name is John Sapp.
Wow, that sounds. Is Rabbit? Okay. We'll talk about it later. Rabbit sounds real familiar. I'm like, is that the dude from Wainwright? I'm like, that sounds
dark skinned. Had like a Gumby back in them days. Yeah, that's John.
Well, I never knew that was his real name. Never knew. Mm-hmm. I always knew him as Rabbit.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. You got the Duke Pettyjohn. Tough.
Duke was.
Listen, he scared everybody.
Duke was an animal. Yo.
Definitely an animal.
Duke.
So you got him and Jermaine Wiggins over there. Nah, actually Jermaine was in Eastie. Tough. Duke.
One more.
Let me think. It's funny because I didn't watch after I got out of school. I didn't really watch too much football after I got out, so I think I'm gonna probably just stay in my time frame.
Mm-hmm.
I think my last one, I would love to say Dale, but no, it will probably have to be. Damn it! It's right there. Oh, maybe Ant Pips. Maybe Ant. Ant was another. He was a hitter. Maybe Ant.
Ant was aggressive. You know what I mean? Like he just knew he was smart, cerebral player. He knew how to play the game. He knew both sides of the ball. Like he just super duper high IQ football player. So yeah, Ant definitely deserves to be in people's top 5 in terms of best football. Or he's in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Some of the best guys that have played football. So I mean, we obviously agreed on Bunny. I'm gonna go with my man Sharif Hargrove. Sharif
he ended up going to DC.
Sharif went to Madison, played football. Sharif was a beast, yo. Sharif was a beast in football. Like he was, he was so good. He was so good at football. I'm gonna give some love to my brother Julius Gilliard, man. Top Cat. Top Cat, because
my God,
small, like again, another really high IQ player. You know what I'm saying? Like in top play both sides of the ball. Top Cat was a beast in football, yo. For a guy his size,
very quick.
Like, could just did a little bit of everything on the field. Top Cat was definitely one of those guys.
Okay. Who else you got there?
What's that? Top Cat, Sharif. Hood, Jason White.
Jason White.
Jason White.
Heard a lot of stories about Hood. I heard Hood could have probably went on to be anything.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't see. I probably saw more highlights. Saw a little bit of it, but like the talent that Jason White had, again, he could have been a pro. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like CFL, like something to that level. If he'd have kept it going to the level he was, his talent was there. Like,
Yeah.
Hood was an all-scholastic guy in football, in basketball. But I've always heard that he was just as good as a player, if not a better football player than he was a basketball player. And that's tough because he was a really good basketball player.
Yeah. Didn't he get his jersey retired?
Yeah. Like, he doesn't get, I don't feel as though he gets his flowers enough that like he should get them. But Jason White was a bad man in football, basketball. He's just a hell of an athlete. But football-wise, Jason White was definitely one of those guys. No question.
Okay.
That is 4. And I mean, I'm gonna give praise to my guy John Rice. You know what I'm saying? Like John Rice at English. Again, was a really good basketball player as well too, but he was a much better football player than he was a basketball player.
Yeah, definitely was.
Just
he was definitely our scouting report right there.
Yeah. High IQ guy, knows the game. Super duper talented. Yeah, 5 is tough, but yeah, he's definitely one of those guys. You know what I mean? We've had a lot, it's just we don't have the all around year thing, for everyone, but definitely had our share of them. You know what I mean? And
talent in the city, definitely.
That's the best. No question about it at all. All right.
Yeah.
So hold up, because I think we're gonna do a little switcheroo.
Stockton. The killer crossover. Oh, brother. Hardaway leaving Stockton in the dust.
Little crossover.
Crossover. Darn.
You know what I mean? We need the touchdown or something since we got the crossover.
Yeah, I know, right?
But we're gonna switch it up, man, and get into getting into something else regarding football. So we just talked about the best players football wise. But who are some of the best coaches? Who are some of the best coaches in football? And it could be Pop Warner, it could be high school, you know what I mean? It could be just, whatever the case may be, as far as that goes.
When it comes to football with me, all I ever knew at that time was my coach. That's all I knew. Mason, and when I was over at O'Brien, Art. That's all I can remember. The other guy I won't even mention. The real coach of the O'Brien team, because, it's a long story later on in time and whatnot, Matter of fact, you know what? I will get into it a little bit.
Okay.
I always thought he was an asshole. I definitely thought he was an asshole, but he did have high hopes on me from my freshman year. Like my freshman year, I played varsity at O'Brien.
Okay.
But I felt he was an asshole going into the next season because he definitely had a plan for me. I had a death in the family, so I was not there for the summertime workouts and stuff of that nature. So when I did get back, it was, he kind of benched me basically, but he still kept an eye on me. But as time gone on, me and him had, a couple of words, I ended up getting kicked off. And 15 years later, maybe a little bit longer, find out he's a pedophile.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely was a big,
Wow.
thing that went on in the city with him and stuff like that. Players and stuff like that came forth. You know, you know, it, so
Mm.
I don't know, man. Like definitely, definitely nasty work.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
but
super duper.
yeah, I didn't. I didn't know, I other than, the Dorchester Eagles, I really don't follow a lot of, football. And they got a great cast of coaches over there. From Beefy, you got to throw Hurst out there.
Yeah.
Brovelt, you know, and like you said, a lot of the other guys, Steve, they're all doing a good job over there. So, I just have to go with that
Eagle,
right now.
Eagle staff. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And
Um,
how about you?
um, so I'll go with I'll go with a couple. I'll go with the OG, a veteran. Um, passed away. But he was a major influence. He was a part of the Raiders organization. His name was Harry Wilson. He passed away.
Yes,
He
yes,
passed
yes, yes.
away a few years ago. But again, like no matter what part of the town you're from, it's just certain people that are legendary figures and legendary people, regardless. And you know
Hmm.
of them, you know about them, and you still speak their name up and still, show them love. You know what I'm saying? Because they are legends. They made impact on the lives of young people. And they are to be remembered with their memories of what they did and the impact they made. So definitely want to salute the OG Harry Wilson, because he, from everything I've heard about him, he was absolutely, a great man. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, Definitely want to shout out. I mean, like you said, the Dorchester Eagles, but I'll just zero in particular on Beef and Hurst in
Yeah.
particular, um, for just the consistency of the program in which they've run that has been sustainable for years. And they've sent a lot of kids to college. I mean, gone on to have good high school careers. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's like just the way they crank out kids in that program. It's truly something to be said about, what they do and what they're doing over there with that side.
Hmm.
Um, I want to give
On
some.
and off the field, to tell you the truth, with those
Yeah,
guys, on and
yeah,
off the field.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Coach Carter, my guy, Coach Carter as well too. Shout out to my man, Coach Carter. That's my guy. I know he's over there with them, doing some things, bro. So they have just a good, from the youngest to the oldest. Like they just have a
Mhm.
great program passing it down. Shout out to my guy Mick the
Yeah.
mayor over there with the Mattapan Patriots,
Yes,
running a
sir.
really, really good program. Um,
Now, was the Mattapan Patriots at one time? If I'm not, I think wasn't Robert Kraft a part of the Mattapan Patriots at one time?
I'm not sure if he was a part of them, but I know that him and his son Jonathan Kraft do a lot of amazing work in the community, and they are
Mm,
partnered up with individuals like Mick, and other guys, and I believe even the Dorchester Eagles as well. I mean,
mm,
here in the comments to see, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they were a part of that as well because they definitely invited a lot of people from the Pop Warner teams to go out to Gillette and be celebrated. You know what I mean, for different things that they were doing. Um,
mm.
so
Okay.
yeah. Shout out to Mattapan. Um, I mean, he may not have won many games, um, and I could be biased when I say this, man. But shout out to my dog Mason, man. I don't care what nobody
Coach
say.
Mason, man.
I don't care what nobody say, man.
But
Mason,
but Mason can at least say he has a Super Bowl under his belt. If I'm not mistaken, it might have been 85 or 86. I know Izzy Ramirez's older brother was on or two of his brothers were actually on one of Mason's Super Bowl teams, if I'm not mistaken. So, Mason, he might have slowed down, but he definitely was one of those guys at one point in time.
If you've been in Dorchester High's gym, it's Tech Boston now. Mason used to have all the pictures in front of his office with all the Super Bowl teams like on there. We used to see the pictures of all the Marcelo Hollidays, the Antoine Montgomerys. Don't get it twisted. Dorchester High used to be loaded when it comes to football back in the days. They had tons of players going through there. So again, the version we got to see of Mason wasn't his best version of him, but just before that, believe me, he had some rich history and tradition on his side for what he was doing. Mason was definitely one of those guys.
Yeah, he definitely believed in us. He definitely believed in us. I think sometimes to a fault.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes to a fault. I remember my bro Chauncey say, "Yo, I want to kick field goals. I want to be the punter. I think I can do that." We got in the game, and that man missed that field goal. I mean, he missed the whole ball, leg in the air and everything. I said, "Oh man." We definitely had a lot of great times, on Mason squads.
Yeah,
definitely. Shout out to a couple of my guys, Miguel. Got to speak to Reggie Mills, the Bovell brothers, Bundy. Definitely had it.
You had some players, dog. Listen.
We had. Listen, Reggie and Bundy. I've known them since they were playing Pop Warner themselves. Definitely beast on the football court. Gave their body like no other. Like Reg would get hit hard. Reg's probably 135 pounds soaking wet, taking hits after hit, still get back up and let's keep going.
Right. No bullshit. No bullshit, right?
No, we had some dogs. We definitely had some dogs.
Yeah.
Top Cat. Yeah.
No, definitely. I mean, it's definitely been some beasts. Definitely been some beasts. I feel like I got one more coach. Man.
Don't wreck your brain, man. I mean, we ain't football guys no more.
No, definitely not. I mean, listen, I've said enough of the Dorchester Eagles and their staff, Mattapan Patriots, the OG Harry Wilson, my man Joe Mason. Yeah, man, and I'm sure pardon charges to my head, not my heart, in terms of forgetting, but it's been plenty more of really talented guys that are out here. I'm doing things. Shout out to my dog Ernest Hughes, because my dog Ernest Hughes be out here. He went to Brookline, but Ernest definitely be out here coaching as well too. So shout out to my dog Ernest Hughes. Yeah, that's my guy.
Don't his son play?
Yep. Absolutely. And that's one of the dope things now when you see like the Pop Warners and stuff, is that you see like friends of yours, like kids playing football, and they're like beasts out here. You know what I'm saying? That are like killing it out here. So shout out to V, because young Vidal is a beast.
We're forgetting about Vidal.
Vidal. V, my man V12 and his youngin, he's definitely an animal out here in the football field. My dog JJ with little JJ out here football thing. He's out here killing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe JJ's son plays with the Eagles as well, if I'm not mistaken. I'm
not sure.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many little kids running around. I don't know.
Yeah, I believe little JJ with the Eagles, and obviously, man, listen, you just talked about My dog Mir, man, little Mir's out here.
Yeah,
It's
Ned's out there. Yeah.
So that's fire, yo. I
Now,
love to see that.
now, there's a big thing, and I got a couple of guys, they got, kids that play, the game of football and whatnot. And one of the big things, I hear a lot is favoritism on the football field and whatnot. Shit, sometimes when you do go to some of these games, you do see it. There's been a couple of bad incidents, and whatnot, where you got parents like, hey, you only putting this guy out here because it's your kid and stuff like that. This has nothing to do with Mir actually has game. He can play. So, but that's one of the big things, I hear nowadays. Now, if you're a parent and you got your son in this program and he's not getting the run that you like, but you're seeing another coach's son out there and you don't think how do you approach it? How would you think you would approach that situation?
I mean, I'm glad I got a daughter, by the way. I'm gonna deal with this. I'm not gonna deal with none of this shit. But no, I mean, like, listen, if I was to have a kid that plays sports and football in particular, and because like I know that football is not like my strong suit, or even if it was, I'm gonna let the coach be the coach. Let the coach be the coach. Let the coach make the decisions. I'm not going to try to have my influence as a person or, you know what I mean, like knowing people to have an effect on my kid playing if he's not good enough to play. You know what I'm saying?
But your kid is good enough and he's just not getting that,
That's a different conversation, right?
Because Pop Warner's kind of weird in a sense. They have certain rules. And, I don't know if once you get on a team that you have to stay there for a certain period of time, or if it's just a town to town thing, like based on what area of town you're from. But from what I do know, there's been a lot of behind the scenes where there's a lot of, he played on my team last year. He can't go over there, or he can't play at all.
Unfortunately, what I see, and I don't mean to like bring this in a negative light, what I see is that too many adults are sometimes in these spaces, whether it's Pop One or whether it's AAU basketball, are trying to live out their own dreams and stuff through the kids. And it's about the adults more than it is the kids.
Yeah.
That's not the right thing for it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be about the young people who are learning a sport. You're getting discipline. You're building a brotherhood with your teammates and the guys. The discipline part comes from you listening to your coaches and the impact that they're making on you. And hopefully you're blessed to have some good coaches that are telling you the right thing and that are building bonds with the players that are bigger than the sport that they're playing. You know what I'm saying? Bigger than football, bigger than basketball. You know what I mean? So if I went to and I wouldn't even go to, I'm lying. If I went to a coach and said, why is this, whatever the case may be, and he tells me, and it sounds reasonable, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my resources to help get my son better in terms of working out and getting him to be a player. Now, if it doesn't work and he's worked out and he's putting in work, then we may have to consider finding a program that he could be fit to, because sometimes it feels like some programs want to just have a stockpile of players, even if everybody's not playing, but they just want all the best talent. And it's like, nah, if he can't play,
he's not benefiting.
Play, if it doesn't benefit him, but he's good, let him go somewhere and play. Not just advocating for my kid because he's my kid and I feel like he's entitled to have this, even though he may not. There could be
Yeah.
someone who earned it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to take that. I don't want to take that away from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By showing him like, I mean, like, nah, you didn't really earn this spot, but you're gonna get it anyways. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Be better. That's
Yeah.
it. Be better,
Okay.
man.
I should have asked you this question earlier before I asked you that one. But would you have if you had a son, would you be hesitant to let him play football if he wanted to play? Would you have any reservations on it?
Definitely. I definitely will have some reservations on it. But if it's something that they want to do, they want to
Mhm.
play, then I won't be that parent to say, no, you can't play. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to create any resentment or anything like that. So I will make sure that I find the best resources and outlets for them to be able to hone their skills and get better. Shout out to my guy Corey with BPS because he's doing a lot of great things. And I know football is one of the things that he is pushing forward in terms of having clinics and
Yeah.
stuff where young people can go and get better. Because that's super important. Again, because we don't have the nice weather here all year round. So there has to be other things created for the young guys to be able to get, you know what I'm saying, playing time in football.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I would just find a situation for my youngin that he can play good and be his best. But I
Well,
wouldn't
would you resort to, saying, you know what,
I
I'm
wouldn't-
gonna skip him playing Pop Warner, and instead I'll put him in an indoor or just flag football. Let him learn that way, and then when he gets to a certain age and a certain build, maybe high school, you allow him to play high school, and then so on. Or do you think that would slow him down?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to miss any steps, right?
Mm.
So I want him to play Pop Warner just
Yeah.
because I feel like that's a different type of experience that
I think it's needed. I
yeah,
definitely think it's needed.
it's needed. Like I don't feel like that's a step like that you can skip on the way to playing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Pop
Mhm.
Warner is something that every young person should be playing in. You know what I mean? Mike Nice, what's good, my guy?
And
Yeah.
because when you talk to a mayor, like, because these kids at a young age, like they listen, they understand a lot of things early,
Yep.
like, and they soak in a lot of things. And shit, they got better memories than I do. Because shit, I'll
Yeah.
forget shit in a heartbeat. But like a man tell me he'll run down all his plays. Did this person's supposed to do this? This person's supposed to, and it's like, damn,
That's dope.
you're 9.
That's dope.
Like
That means
at
he's gonna be one
9,
of those
I
guys.
didn't have that. At 9, I knew what the positions were and how to, what they did, but he knows routes, where this person's supposed to be. Like, I didn't have that at 9 years old. Shit, I probably barely had it as a freshman at O'Brien. So, so I definitely, I'm probably with you. I probably wouldn't want my son to miss no steps. He didn't get to play Pop Warner, my son, but he did play football. I don't think he was interested in Pop Warner. He played baseball. So, another great sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a beast at that. So, it is what it is.
I think that's amazing that Amir at 9 has that level of talent. But I'm not surprised looking at who he's around. And first
Yeah.
of all, shout out to the good brother, your brother, my brother, Bro. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Bro, because Bro is a coach. He's around the game. He knows it, and he's just
Definitely.
on game. You know what I'm saying? At this age now. So if Amir's like this at 9, I can only imagine what he'll be like in about 4 or 5 years with consistency of playing like this, being around that program. He's like is a sponge. You know what I mean? Like, how does Sis feel? How does Sis feel about him playing football?
She loves it. She loves him playing football, but
Nice.
she's always, anytime she speaks to me, she's like, "Hey, listen, I want you to get him to play basketball. I want him to be around you. I want him to, you know, and that'll come. That'll come. That'll come. I want him to like the game of basketball, and I know he does. But you know, I kind of, you know, I'm not a person that I'm not like Mitch Hercules. Mitch Hercules can teach you from the ground up. You know, I kind of, you know, for me, I kind of already need you to kind of know a few things because I don't coach that way. I don't, you know, I'm not that great of a coach like that. Mitch can coach you from nothing and make you into something. He's just that dope.
Mitch is different.
You know,
Mitch is a different.
he definitely is. He definitely is.
Mitch is definitely different.
And you know, even though he coaches basketball, Mitch also works out football players.
Definitely.
And keeps them in shape. So,
absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Definitely.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, definitely. Shit, I was gonna go into a bad story of, you know, parenting but maybe I'll.
We got a couple minutes. We got a couple minutes left. We got like 3 or 4 minutes left.
All right. Well, you know,
3 or 4 minutes left.
What I don't like about the sport, and not just football, every sport, parents that are coaching their kids from the crowd. It's all right to say a few things.
Let's keep it to football, though. Let's keep it to football.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, parents that are coming out trying to coach their kids on the sidelines, telling them what to do. Yeah. That's a no-no. Like some of you parents out there, let the coaches do what they do.
Right.
You know, there was an issue where a parent, well, actually a coach, actually put this kid in the game. You know, it was last game of the year, put the player in the game. The father was mad because they ended up losing the game. They ended up losing the game because he wanted to win that game. That's their last game. He felt like, you know, the coach shouldn't have put the bench in there to let them play out, but his son is one of those bench guys.
Yeah, see, it's about the kids, man.
Like, they ended up losing the game.
It's about the kids.
There was an argument that pursued after that where the father confronted the coach, and the coach was like, yo, listen, you know, we were winning. I understand, you know, we ended up losing that game because they were up big at one point. The bench kind of let, you know, the other team back in, but he wanted to make sure that all the kids were able to play and got a chance. And it just so happened they lost.
Right.
You know, the coach didn't want to argue with the parent no longer, started to walk away. As he walked away, got socked in the eye.
Wow. That's it. That shit should never be happening.
Nah.
There should never be any like sort of physical altercations at these games regarding stuff, especially between the adults. And I feel like there's too much I see of that or hear about that kind of energy going on, whether it's with AAU or not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's absolutely not a good thing. It's actually terrible, in fact, that's happening. You know what I mean? But I feel like we gotta double back on this conversation because we gotta talk more about the parent involvement from the football angle, because that's not good at all.
Yeah. You know, next time out, you know, when we get back on here, you know, we'll definitely ask, you know, you get some guys on here that'll kind of square that away and whatnot.
Before we get up out of here, though.
Throw it in the corner. Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Bang! Jaylen Brown knocks down the three to tie the game.
Before we get up out of here, the buzzer beater. I mean, we'll call this will be the Hail Mary. Best football play that you've ever saw. And it could be Pop Warner, NFL, high school, you know, again, pros, whatever the case may be. Best football play you've ever saw.
damn, it might have been. Damn, there's been so many. Um, shit, maybe. Damn, I can't even remember who Christian Okoye destroyed at the goal line, rushing the ball in for a touchdown. Christian Okoye used to be a Kansas City Chief running back
Yep.
years ago. Haitian sensation,
Animal.
Animal.
Oh my God.
I can't remember who he met at the goal line, but it kind of reminded me of Bo Jackson when he hit dude from the Raiders. Helmet popped off.
Seahawks. Brian Bosworth.
But it was Bosworth. Yes.
Brian Bosworth.
Helmet flying off. He just standing over him. That's, but there's just so many, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
I know. On your end, what was probably one of those plays?
Best play I think I've ever saw on a football field. It's a pro play, but it's Odell Beckham's catch on that Monday Night Football. Unreal, like that, just unreal, just video game type stuff.
Not Saquon's reverse jump over.
Nope. When you catch the ball like this all the way back here with one hand, when you catch the like that with one hand,
you gave up your whole body. You gave up everything.
Like, got the flag because it was a personal foul on the defense and got the touchdown. That might be the greatest play catch. And there was one recently that kind of rivaled it. I can't think of who it was. It was a football game. I mean, I can't remember, but Odell Beckham's catch, one of the best ever. Crazy, insane. So, but we'll get up out of here on that note. Any given Sunday, episode 8 of the Grove Hall podcast. We are getting towards the end of the line. We got 4 episodes left before the season ends. And yeah, man, we're going to close out the season strong. We're definitely going to close it out strong. Talk to some good people in the gym today that we're going to try to get up on here. My OG Al Ski, my dog Sleep. We're going to get some young coaches on here talking about the game. So yeah, it should definitely be fun. So Little, you there, bro? Okay, you might be froze. All right, well, Coach Maine signing off. I see my brother, Mr. Maritime. He might have got his phone might have died on me. But again, check us out. Mike Nice, man. We appreciate you always rocking out. To Quan, my brother Chance, everybody who rocked out with us in the comments tonight. Thank you. Appreciate you for rocking out. I don't know if my bro's back or not. Is he? Okay, let's get him right here for the closeout. There you go. All right, any parting shots you want to say, brother, before we get up out of here?
You said a couple shout outs?
Any parting shout outs you want before we get up out of here?
Shout out, shout out all the parents out there that got their kids out there doing something in the football community, man. And all the parents that are showing up every week, to kind of see their kids out there. It's a big thing, when you're a kid and you can look over and your parents is over there, celebrating you from afar. So gotta shout the parents out for kids to actually be out there doing what they kind of love to do.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like I was saying, this is episode 8. We got 4 episodes left for the season closes out. And we're definitely gonna try to make these last 4 super impactful. My parting shot is, man, I just want to say to parents, let the coaches be the coaches. They're the coaches for the reason. Let them coach your kids, let them do their job, let them do what they got to do. It's why you entrusted in them to be with these guys. So let the coaches do their job and don't worry about your influence or trying to live out your life through your young. Let them have their own life, build their own identity. Got to try to live yours through them. So That's it's been another episode of the Grove Hall Podcast with Coach Maine.
This is Sam Little.
You already know, man, and we will catch you guys next Sunday. It's holiday weekend. Maybe we'll be back for next Sunday. You know what I mean? We'll see how we feeling. We'll let y'all know.
Yeah, so y'all enjoy y'all Turkey Day, man.
Yeah, everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your Turkey Day. And just be, you know, we don't really serve in the tradition of what the day actually means, but just be thankful for friends, family, fellowship, and love on your loved ones, because there are people that unfortunately are going through these rough holiday times without their loved ones. So be thankful for the ones that you have around your table building with you. All right. We'll see y'all next Sunday. Peace.
Peace. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.